In 1987, Dean Martin lost his son in a tragic aircraft crash. From that day on, the king of cool became never the equal. He retreated from public existence, turned down million-dollar offers, and spent his final years in quiet solitude. But whilst he died on Christmas Day 1995, he left in the back of something extremely good, a fortune that would trade his family's lives all the time. This is the tale of the way a bad Italian immigrant's son built an empire, and the emotional legacy that came with it. Dean Martin, born on June 7, 1917, in Steubenville, Ohio. His original name was Dino Paul Crissetti, and his parents were Italian immigrants looking to make a higher existence in America. As a young boy, Dino Handius spoke Italian, not English. When he began faculty at age 5, this became a big hassle. The other youngsters teased him for his damaged English and his Italian call. Dino felt like an outsider and needed to locate approaches to guard himself. That's whilst he found out to apply humor. He observed that making people snigger could flip their teasing into friendship. This ability would later help him win over audiences around the world. By the time he became a youngster, he observed a manner to get away his struggles through playing the drums. It gave him joy and set the level for his love of performing. At 16, Dino dropped out of faculty. He felt he failed to want formal training and decided to work instead. His first jobs have been difficult. He worked in a metal mill where the work turned into hot, grimy, and arduous. He also attempted boxing, calling himself Kid Crochet. He fought 12 fits and later joked he only gained certainly one of them. Boxing left him with scars, broken knuckles, and a crooked nose, but it additionally taught him resilience. Dino wasn't afraid to take risks. During Prohibition, he bootlegged liquor, smuggling alcohol whilst it became unlawful. He also worked as a blackjack supplier in secret gambling golf equipment. These jobs introduced him to the nightlife and the people who lived on the edge, giving him a sturdiness and attraction that stayed with him for all time. By the early 1940s, Dino started making a song in nightclubs. He called himself Dino Martini, inspired via a well-known opera singer. His easy, relaxed making a song style struck human beings' interest. A bandleader named Sammy Watkins observed him and counseled he trade his call to Dean Martin. This marked the start of a brand new bankruptcy in his lifestyles. Not the whole lot got here smooth. When Dean performed at elaborate New York membership, he completely flopped. It became embarrassing, but he did not surrender. He kept making a song, getting to know, and enhancing. During this time, he met a young comic named Jerry Lewis. In 1945, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis met for the primary time on the Glass Hat Club in New York City. At that time, Martin became already a famous nightclub singer, recognized for his easy voice and fascinating style. Jerry Lewis then again turned into just beginning out as a comedian and struggling to find his vicinity. Their first assembly happened by using Hazard at some point of one in all Martin's performances. Lewis, in his traditional playful way, started interrupting Martin's act with stupid jokes and wild antics. At first, it seemed like it'd break the display, but something surprising happened. The target audience loved it. They laughed so much that both guys realized that they had stumbled onto something unique. After that nighttime, they commenced acting collectively, informally, at special golf equipment in New York. The pairing of Martin's cool, relaxed making a song with Lewis's over-the-pickled humor became sparkling and interesting. Audiences could not get sufficient in their mix of song and comedy. Their massive smash as a duo got here on July 25, 1946 at the 500 Club in Atlantic City. They were initially booked as separate acts, but while every other performer canceled, they decided to team up. That nighttime, Lewis dressed as a busboy and crashed Martin's set, pretending to smooth tables, dropping dishes, and making ridiculous jokes. The chaos turned into hilarious, Martin performed along, and their act became a perfect mix of tune and comedy. The audience went wild, and even the membership owner, who were anxious approximately the concept, admitted they were a success. That overall performance placed them on the map. Soon they had been acting in some of the biggest golf equipment in the United States, like New York's Copacabana. Their act saved evolving, with Martin's smooth songs and Lewis's unpredictable humor mixing flawlessly. They didn't rely on a strict script, which made every show feel fresh and a laugh. Audiences could not get sufficient in their strength and originality. By 1949, they had been so famous that NBC supplied them their own radio display, The Martin and Lewis Show. It became one of the maximum listened-to applications in America, bringing their precise humor into humans' homes. As their repute grew, Hollywood observed them. Their first film, My Friend Irma, got here out in 1949. Martin played a captivating singer at the same time as Lewis brought his normal silly antics to the function of his sidekick. Even though they were not the principal stars of the movie, audiences loved them. Their chemistry on display was simply as strong because it changed into on degree, and the fulfillment of the film made them Hollywood stars. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis modified television forever once they starred in the Colgate Comedy Hour from 1950 to 1955. Their teamwork and sense of humor have been unlike something humans had seen earlier then. They did not simply stick with the script. They joked, ad-libbed, and made every performance feel alive and unpredictable. This made their display a huge hit. Their first show on September 17, 1950, turned into a massive deal. It became filmed on the Park Theater in New York City and had a big budget of $3 million. Approximately $36 million today. The community believed in their talent and it paid off. Their episodes had the very best rankings and even beat other well-known stars like Eddie Cantor. What made Martin and Lewis unique was how they broke the regulations of TV on the time. They failed to just observe the plan, they made up jokes on the spot. Audiences cherished it. In one episode, Lewis interrupted Martin making a song by means of shouting, "Who ordered the steak?" It wasn't deliberate, but everybody laughed, and the moment have become legendary. Their shows have been a combination of track, comedy, and silly sketches that made amusing of films and TV. Martin's easy singing balanced perfectly with Lewis's loopy antics, growing a style of amusement that inspired indicates like Saturday Night Live years later. Their fulfillment on TV led them straight to Hollywood. Between 1949 and 1956, they made 16 films, many of which were big hits. Their first starring role was in At War with the Army in 1950. The film handiest fee $560,000 to make, but earned over $3 million, proving how much people loved them. Another large success turned into The Stooge in 1952. This movie became unique because it felt non-public. It became approximately a struggling singer, played via Martin, whose profession takes off after teaming up with a goofy accomplice, performed through Lewis. It made $5 million and confirmed how well they might integrate comedy with heartfelt moments. By 1951, they were the most famous entertainers inside the world. That 12 months they earned $11 million, on quantity equal to extra than $123 million nowadays. Their cash got here from anywhere, nightclubs, films, and TV. They made $25,000 every week appearing live, and some of their TV episodes paid them as a whole lot as 100. What made their upward push so brilliant became how fast it befell. In just 5 years, they went from being unknown to being the biggest stars in the world. Part in their success got here from their clever enterprise decisions. They made positive they had control over their careers, like sharing profits from their films and having the strength to approve scripts. Their partnership didn't last forever. By 1952, Dean became growing bored with being seen as simply the immediately man. Jerry got the large laughs, and Dean felt like his position became truly to set him up for jokes. During the filming of Three Ring Circus in 1954, Dean's frustration boiled over. He became to Jerry and stated, "Hey Jerry, what am I round right here? A fifth wheel? If I'm no longer essential to the act anymore, just let me realize. Dean's emotions were not without purpose. In Three Ring Circus, he only were given to sing songs, one to a set of caged animals, and the opposite to Jerry, at the same time as Jerry had the main role, as normal. Over time, Dean felt less like a companion, an extra like an afterthought. The breaking point came in 1956. All through the planning of The Delicate Delinquent, Dean was presupposed to play a policeman, but refused, pronouncing it became clean. He had enough of playing 2D mess around. The two have been also very one-of-a-kind as human beings.